to its Hall of Fame. In addition to all former winners of the Race of Champions 250, the Hall of Fame honors members of the racing community that have been an important part of the 67-year history of the Race of Champions. Our first honoree is a longtime series car owner. This native of Rome, Pennsylvania has been a mainstay on the Race of Champions Modified Series for a number of seasons. His racing career began driving street stocks and late models at tracks across New York and Pennsylvania, including Jennerstown, Clearfield, and the Shangri-La Speedways, as well as the National Parts Peddler Street Stock race that was part of the Race of Champions at Pocono. Later on, he moved to the role of car owner. His most memorable Race of Champions came at Oswego in 2006 when he helped TJ Piotrowski become the first and only driver to win both the Modified 200 and the Sportsman feature in the same Race of Champions weekend. Along with Piotrowski, he has had some very talented wheelmen drive his cars, including Lee Sharpstein, Wilbur Heaving, and Eric Rudolph. The Race of Champions is proud to induct Ed Maguire as part of the 2017 class of the Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, Ed is in poor health at the moment, as in hospital. To accept the award on his behalf today is Matt Hirschman. One more time, let's hear it for Ed Maguire. Thank you, Matt. For our next inductee, when you think about modified racing, one of the voices you may hear in your head is the one of our next inductee. From the Moody Mile at Syracuse to the Steel Palace at Oswego to tracks like Spencer, Lancaster, Weedsport, and Rolling Wheels, he has called some of the biggest races in modified racing, including the Race of Champions. Following in the footsteps of his friend Jack Burgess, he became the voice of the New York State Fairgrounds at Syracuse, where he was part of every Super Dirt Week until the final one there in 2015. Not only is he a great announcer, but he's a really great storyteller. Whether it's Richie Evans, Jim Champagne, or Danny Johnson, he can recall a memorable race or a funny anecdote from the legends of our sport out of the hundreds of races he's seen throughout the years. And just like any great announcer, he has those memorable phrases that you know you're going to hear when he's behind the mic. You know someone is going to wind up in the Raffordillies if they're not careful in tricky turn 3, and if the leader gets too out in front, you might start to see some smoke when out of that car as he starts to pull away. And of course on the wave lap, he'll always remind you what his good friend Jack Burgess used to say, you gotta have a favorite out there. Well, he is one of our favorites. Please join me in welcoming Joe Murata to the Race of Champions Hall of Fame. Joe, congratulations. It's an honor to work with you at Oswego and Syracuse, and this is a great honor for you, and it's well deserved.
Well, it certainly is. You know, when I look down the list of all the folks that are in the Hall of Fame, guys like Jim Champagne, Richie Evans, and people like that, Will Cagle. As a matter of fact, I had a call from Will Cagle this week to congratulate me. And it's certainly an honor. It's great to be here, and it's great to be in front of the U.S. Army. Hey guys, congratulations and thanks for being here and protecting us. Thank you.
Joe Murata, ladies and gentlemen. Joe, we get a quick picture. Ted has only been gone 2 weeks, but the mark he left on the short track industry and racing in general has been felt across the country. We have seen moving tributes done in his honor at places like Riverhead, Stafford, Loudon, and even the NASCAR Cup Series race at Chicagoland. Ted had a style behind the wheel that was all his own. How many drivers throughout history have had a rule based on their driving style? TC was one of those few, as his 3-tap rule became a standard for short track racers everywhere. The rule was simple. First tap was to let you know he was there. Second tap told you to get moving or get out of the way. And if you got that third tap, you know you were going around. Ted's history with the Race of Champions isn't as long as some drivers. He competed in the event a total of 8 times, once at Flemington and 7 times at Oswego. He finished in the top 5 3 times, including a runner-up finish to Chuck Hosfeld in 1999. Teddy did win the ROC Sportsman race at Flemington in 1995, and he also has 1 ROC Modified Series win in the Richie Evans Memorial at Oswego in 2009. But this induction isn't about on-track performance with the Race of Champions. It's more about the mark TC left on modified racing and short track racing in the Northeast and how his spirit and legend will live on. Many have tried to compare Ted in the days since his passing, but I think our own Just Scott Nicky put it best when he said, Ted Christopher was our generation's Ted Christopher. Simple as that, and we were lucky to have him. Ladies and gentlemen, the 3rd inductee to the Race of Champions Hall of Fame for 2017 is Plainville, Connecticut's TC, Ted Christopher. To accept the award on his behalf is his good friend Zachary Scott Nicky. and we will make sure the Christopher family receives this award. One more time, let's hear it for TC. At this time, we'd like to introduce our Grand Marshal for today's race. Please welcome, if you will, the Vice President and General Manager of Presque Isle Downs Casino, Jeff Farr. Jeff, welcome. Thank you for your support at Race of Champions Weekend. And we'd also like to welcome today's honorary starter. He's the event director for the Erie Sports Commission. Please welcome Mr. Mark Jennered. And Mark, he is in position to get on the flag stand to wave the green flag today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to introduce the starting lineup.
Flag at the ready. Listen for the roar out of turn 4. It's the Race of Champions 250 Erie Speedway. until lap 225 here today. Both and the green now is side by side. a merry-go-round here. Juliet was running right behind